In this video here, we're going to talk about the graph of a function and what it means, or what the graph of a function is, what it means in relation to the function itself. Right? So what a graph of a function is the set of all points x comma y such that y equals f of x for all x in the domain of the function. Right? So in other words, all points x, y. So we're talking about points in the coordinate plane, right? So we have the x coordinate and the y coordinate. So it's all the points in that coordinate plane where the x's are the input values, right? So all the x's in the domain of the function. Right? Remember, the domain of the function is the set of all the input values for the function. So basically, to get the graph of the function, you take every x value in the domain, right? Every single input value, input them into the function, and the output for that, right, the f of x is your y coordinate, right? That's what this means up here, that y equals f of x, right? So f of x is the output when you plug in that x value, and that output gives you the y coordinate of your point, right? And then you take that input and output, right, your x comma y, or your x comma f of x, and you plot that point on the graph, and then you move to the next x value that's in your domain, and you do the same thing. You plug it into the function, you get the output value. The input is your x coordinate, the output is your y coordinate. You plot that point on the graph, and then you connect all those points, and that gives you the graph of the function. Right, so an example graph up here, just to kind of show you what this looks like. Right, so here's the graph of a function. This is this purple curve here. So for x equals 1, when I plug x equals 1 into this function, whatever it is, I get f of 1. That's the y coordinate. When x equals 1, y is equal to f of 1, and the point 1 comma f of 1 is a point on the graph. Right? When x equals 2, I plug x equals 2 into the function, I get f of 2, which is the y coordinate of that point. Right? So when x equals 2, y equals f of 2, and that point is on the graph of the function. Right? So for any random x coordinate, any random x value, when I plug that x value into the function, I get f of x, right? And that point x comma f of x is a point on the graph. Right? So what the graph of a function is a set of all of those points where when I take the x coordinate of that point and I plug it into the function, the output is the y coordinate of that point. Right? So that's basically what the graph of a function is. Right? Or if you think about it in terms of the equation, like the equation y equals f of x, all the points on the graph are like the solutions to that equation. When I plug in this certain x value, this is what y is going to equal. Right? So the set of all those input and output points gives you the graph of a function. Right? So that's basically, what the definition of the graph of a function is.